Why didn't I do the Matrix sequels? That's easy. I had first worked for Warner Brothers when I was 10 years old in Roots: The Next Generation. Um, when I had turned 18 years old, my birth name, my child actor's name was Marcus Wyatt, and I was estranged from my father. I wanted to reinvent myself as an adult actor, so I changed my name to Marcus Chong. I had done Broadway. I won the Theatre World Award. I had a big film out called Panther. I was the lead in. I was on the posters and billboards, and my name was everywhere at the time. I was one of the hot tickets in town. And so Mally Finn, who had cast the Titanic, who was also the casting director for The Matrix, she called me up. She got my phone number from Screen Actors Guild. And she asked me if I was interested in doing The Matrix for Warner Brothers. And I said, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I be? And so I read the audition, and I went in to meet with Larry and Andy Wachowski and Mally, and they hired me on the spot. I hit it out the park. And we basically started prepping for the film a year in advance. And so when we were prepping for the film, I had to pay for all my expenses. I wasn't taking on any other projects, so because I didn't want to move on to something else when I gave my word, my handshake on such a deal. And so when it came time for me to go to Sydney, Australia, I had to pay for my own visa to travel. I had to basically, what they did was Warner Brothers cashed in my first class plane ticket, cashed in my 5-star hotel accommodations, and put me into a little apartment by myself in the middle of downtown Sydney. And I was paying myself my per diem to survive for the first 3 months that I was in Sydney. And so when it came time for me to do my first day of shoot, there was no one to pick me up. There was no ride, there was no van, there was no shuttle, there was no car, nothing like that. I had to walk to Fox Studios Sydney by myself. When I got there was no name for me. My name was not at the security guard booth, so the security guards would not let me in. I had to call the production office. A PA came down to give me permission to come in to shoot my own film, and it was like that the whole shoot. I had to walk to work every day to film, and then walk home in the dark at night in a foreign country. Very unprofessional. They had a running gag on the set when we were shooting the film, which is some different person every day, from a production assistant to even John Gator, who did the special effects, would come up to me and say, hey, doesn't your character die in the movie? Which I thought was very bizarre. My response to them was, haven't you read the script? And so I wanted to protect my role the best I could, no matter whatever antics or shenanigans that they were doing. I wanted to make certain that my role was protected and solid. I'm not going to get into the drugs that was going on during the production that people were doing that I would, stay far clear from. I'm not going to say any names. They know who they are. And so when it came time to finish shooting, I had to relocate myself back to Hollywood. No relocation fees. There would be no unemployment. I mean, The Matrix was a complete renegade production. And so when you're hired out of Hollywood by Warner Brothers Studio and you're a Screen Actors Guild member, there's a codified basic agreement with SAG and the federal government and Warner Brothers where they have to give you a SAG contract in order to get your royalties. I have never gotten a royalty yet because Warner Brothers never honored that codified basic agreement. They never gave me a SAG contract. Whereas the actors from Australia, the character who played Dozer, Switch, APOC, they all get royalties. And so there was some kind of discrimination going on. I just considered they were pimping the game, and they pimped the game on that one, to pay for whatever entertainment and fun that they wanted to have during that production at my expense. And so Angela Pritchard, the assistant to the executive producer, Barry Osborne, she called me to the Warner Brothers lot. I went over there. This is about 2 weeks before the film would premiere. And they had a press junket there. I didn't know that they had a press junket there, but when the producers and Larry and Andy Wachowski, they found out that I was there, even though I was invited by Angela Pritchard, they were furious. And they had 5 or 6 security guards come down with, earplugs in, the whole gamut, armed, and they physically removed me from that lot and told me if I ever came to that lot again that they would have me arrested. When the film came out at the premiere, they wouldn't even let me go into the theater to see the premiere of my own film. And so I was like, whatever. I drove myself to the premiere. I was told I couldn't go into the premiere. They did everything they could to keep me out. And so the movie became the #1 film in the world. It was a phenomenon. It made a bunch of money. It was a big hit, and it went through the roof. And so Warner Brothers and Larry and Andy Wachowski wanted to bring my character Tank the Operator back to the sequels. Joey Pantoliano, who played Cypher, he got $1 million to do the one film, The Matrix. So my entertainment attorneys said that they were going to get me at least $1 million, because I'm doing 3 films. And so Larry and Andy Wachowski, instead of writing me a $3 million role or a $1 million role for Reload and Revolutions, they wrote, basically a $25,000 role for each film. I saw the films, and they replaced Tank the Operator with a character that they wrote in called Link, and that was a really minuscule role, nothing to it, there was nothing there, it was just basically blah. And so they wouldn't let anyone read the scripts until they had signed a contract prior. So, what I saw in those 2 films though was not good, and I would never have signed on for those films, just in itself. So on my birthday, July 8th, 2000, I was with Larry and Andy Wachowski at the Eon Productions, and I told Larry, you're going to have to give me $1 million to do these sequels. And he told me straight out, looked me in my eye and said, we're not giving you $1 million. And I said, well, then I'm not going to do these films. And they were pissed and furious. And Larry Wachowski, he looked at me and he said, if you don't do these sequels, we'll kill you.